Hi. So what I'd love to know is, what do you like to talk most about with your fans?
Wow. I mean, the fans come up and they always have the questions. They love talking about the show. They want to ask about Michael and the show. They still ask about the wig. They want to know, like, it's true, it did hurt, and metal comb. I guess I do. I like talking about the show. I like talking about the behind the scenes stuff because it is funny. And when we did the mud fight, and I had the mud stuck in my mouth, and it was disgusting. And it was like also a duck pond in the winter and a cow pasture in the summer, so it wasn't all mud. It's fun reminiscing about the stuff. And people are so into it. It's a hoot.
Well, now, I guess there are people that bring their kids and they're never really knowing who you are now.
Well, they're starting to. We're in our fifth generation of viewers. There's the people my age watch it in prime time, and then people older than me were adults with their kids watching it in prime time, and people were children watching our my age. Then they grew up, they had kids, and then there's the people who watched it like in the 80s. They watched it after school and before school in reruns. Then there's the VHS generation, then the DVD generation when those came out. And now I meet teenagers who go, I've only seen it on YouTube. They're watching it on YouTube. And it's the same thing in France. We're on our like a fifth generation of viewers. And the book, people love the book because the book, it's my autobiography, and I talk about my life before and after and everything. But I also do talk extensively about the show, and people, I think, appreciate that.
Your character was so mean, and yet we loved her. So how did that stay with you after the show?
It's so crazy. I mean, everybody from Little House, none of us thought it would be the hit that it is. We did not think that 40 years later, 2 years ago was our 40th anniversary. And we had huge events all over the country. Even in France. We had to go to France to do a reunion. Nobody thought it would be the hit that it was. If you had told us in 1974 that we'd still be talking about in 2016, we just said, you're nuts. That's not, who's going to be watching this show? Everybody. So I kind of knew we hit a nerve around the third year. People started coming up to me in the street, and it was like that, people who on soap operas, where they come up to them in the supermarket, how could you leave Eduardo for Esteban? You are so cruel. They're like, what are you talking? Oh, the show, right. Yeah, and that started happening. People started getting really nutty, and we started going, I've hit a nerve, and things started happening. We started going, okay, wait, is this show a hit? Oh, dear. And then, like 7 years around, oh, my God. So it really blew up, and we still didn't know it would be this big a hit, but, like, it's in 140 countries. There are people watching it in Borneo and Sri Lanka, and we're huge in France and Argentina. The French love me. Or as I say, they don't think Nellie Oleson's mean, they think she's French. And so, I did the book. And it's exploded, and it just seems to be getting more popular. Not like, there's still people. It's like escalating, which is weird. I go to these events, I'm going, there's more people than at the last thing. What? And I go on Amazon and going, somebody just bought like another 50 copies. Like, what is going on? And it just is explosive, and they love it. And so I have kooky things. I have T-shirts. I had candles made of it, and I have stuff coming up. I did this horror web series. I'm kind of possessed. Okay, so I killed some people. They had it coming. I had to stab a few people. It was stiff, yeah. And I'm playing a very sensible life coach in another upcoming web series, and I just did a pilot with my friend Steven where Dawn Wells, Marianne from Gilligan's Island, plays my mom. Mason Reese, the charming little boy who did the Underwood Deviled Ham commercials, he plays my ex-husband, and I've left him for a woman. I've left him for Erin Murphy, who was Tabitha on Bewitched. And so I'm married to her, and my mother is Dawn Wells, and my mother-in-law is Michael Learned, who is Mrs. Walton. So yeah, it's a whole wonderful, like all your favorite people in this one demented show. It's very surreal. It's lovely. And so I'm doing all kinds of things. I do theater and I do stuff. And I do my stand-up show. I have 3 weeks in January. I'll be in Puerto Vallarta at the Act 2 stages doing my one-woman show, Confessions of Prairie Bitch. It's in English. It's a big, fancy American resort. But I do the show in French. I spent the last 10 years spending 2 or 3 months out of the year in France doing Confession d'une garce de la Prairie and Le Mal au Trésor de Nellie Oleson, Nellie Oleson's Trunk of Treasures. And so I was touring sort of in repertory with the 2 French comedy reviews that I do. And the book came out in France and everything, so yeah.
So of all the things that you do, you act, you write, what is your favorite thing?
Well, I'm also on the board of two charities. I'm on the board of Minor Consideration, which is Paul Peterson's charity, helps ex-child stars and current child, try to keep kids in the business on an even keel. But I'm also board chair now at the National Association to Protect Children, or protect.org. And that's really cool. We've changed laws in 7 states and at the federal level in the U.S. to better protect children who are being sexually abused. We have a whole program now, the Weiss Center for Child Rescue and the HERO program, where we're helping law enforcement, getting them the resources to arrest all these people involved in child pornography and trafficking. And we're saving these kids and stopping these people and getting them arrested, because there's these teams, the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, but they're so underfunded and outgunned and outmanned, and we're helping alleviate that, getting them the software, getting them the manpower, getting them what they need. And so we have huge projects. We have Alicia's Law, we're getting passed in all these different states, all the stuff we're doing to protect children from predators in the U.S. So I like that a lot.
So, something in your spare time that you enjoy doing that has nothing to do with work?
Changing my hair color a lot. Painting my nails. These are acrylic, and they're actually they're not black, although I do black. My husband and I painted our toenails black for our wedding. So in November for our anniversary, we do paint our toenails black and sometimes fingernails. So this is a dark purple. I just had this done about a week and a half ago. I've always wanted to do the thing. I was almost going to go pink, purple, but my hair just went, oh yeah, the purple, do the purple. So, and I got the purple lipsticks, it's Halloween. So yes, I engage in getting my nails. I adore acrylic nails and hair color. I do goofy things and play with makeup. In fact, on my Twitter thing, I have like known as the Prarrie bitch, that Mrs. Schoonover, that terrible woman from Protect, and then I have like hobbies, annoying people and putting on makeup. I like to cook. Nellie Oleson could never cook. She was a horrible cook. We were to bring in Percival, and I destroyed the kitchen. I could not cook. I said, who's going to do the cooking? Was like that. In real life, I love to cook. I've been published in people's cookbooks with my recipes in charity cookbooks. I cook all the time, and I'm mad for cooking. So I garden. I have hobbies. I have a husband, and he says, please stop making all that food. I'm gaining weight again. Please stop with the food. And we have Sock Monkey here. This is Secret Agent Sock Monkey, Monkey of Mystery. He is a fighter for justice as well. And he has just got his Facebook page. But if you get the Nellie newsletter every month in your email, you do get the saga of Sock Monkey included. And it's all very mysterious and confusing and underground and bizarre, and involves a monkey. Yes. Thank you so much. And this is my first time at this particular one. This is my first time at this one, at the retro one. I do these kind of things. I do the Little House in the Prairie events at the historical sites. I do Comic Cons. I do my show. I do books. I like, what do you got? Is it going to be fun? But people I know going, and a bunch of people I knew were going. I'm like, I'm going. Okay. And it's in Canada. And I'm actually, I'm dual. I'm really, I got my Tim Hortons. I got a double. I haven't known an Nanaimo bar yet, though. I'm a little concerned. I did get some caramel and a big thing of coffee crisp. Went to the drugstore last night, big thing of the coffee crisp. Ketchup chips. No, can't do the poutine either. Too much. But my mother was from Vancouver. My mother is Norma Macmillan. She was a big voiceover artist. She was Casper the Friendly Ghost. She was Gumby. She was Sweet Polly Purebred, Underdog's girlfriend. She was the voice of Davy and Goliath. And she was from Vancouver, British Columbia. And my father was from Mozart, Saskatchewan. Who drops Mozart? Who name drops Mozart, Saskatchewan in a conversation? Because like Moose Jaw's the big city you go to on Saturday night if you're in Mozart. And he's from Mozart. And he and my mother founded the Totem Theatre with Stuart Baker in Vancouver. And it was a major thing in Canadian theatre history. If you go to Granville, in the street where they have the Walk of Fame in Vancouver, both my parents have plaques. So I do come from a famous Canadian family, actually. And my dad, Thor Arngrim, okay, real name, Tor Hudler Marvin Arngrimson. Real name, Wilfred James Bannon, an Irish boy who was adopted. It's very Little House in the Prairie. He was in an orphanage and then adopted by farmers, much like Albert Ingalls. That's basically him. But he was a little Irish boy and then became a little Icelandic boy because half of Iceland is in Canada. And so he was out there in the prairies of Saskatchewan speaking Icelandic. I make a hell of a Wienertata. Every Christmas, I can make you the Wienertata. You got to do the 9 layers with the prune filling. My father, when I said Arngrim, it's so hard to spell. He said, think yourself lucky. If we were real Icelandics, your name would be Torhadler Daughter. A little harder to spell. A little harder with the 2 T's and the dot and the thing. Yeah, my father had like dots over his name. So he shortened it to Thor Arngrim because it was like dots and things and symbols. Yeah, they were like that. Iceland is a country that needs to buy a vowel. It's way too many consonants. It's all wrong. And they now have a pirate party in their parliament. I was just reading last night. The pirate party got like some seats in parliament. And like, Iceland. They were building a freeway and they had to do an environmental report. And part of it was, would it disturb the elves? Swear to God, Iceland. Yes. So they're very close. So yeah, so I am properly Canadian. I've Icelanded the whole bit, and I have so many relatives. In fact, I had Facebook messages from cousins going, "Oh, you're going to be over in Ottawa? You know, we're trying to get over there." So they were trying to get over here today, but I had like no, so they were like in Saskatchewan, but no, one cousin, she said, "I'm in Ottawa, but I'm not going to make it over there." She was hoping it would go longer so she could get out here, but yeah, so I actually am secretly Canadian. Hi. Yeah, I was born in New York, so I'm actually dual, but I'm very Canadian. Except I don't have the good handwriting. I have the crap. Oh my God, I have the crappy American handwriting. My mother would go, "We should have stayed in Canada. They teach penmanship at the schools. You'd have had such better handwriting." And I have my sign-in sheets. People are signing up for the Nellie newsletter. And I looked at it and I started laughing because I bring it home and I hand them to my husband to enter in the computer. And poor Bob goes, "Oh man, can you read this? Can you read this?" And we're looking at people's handwriting. And I looked today and I started laughing. It is the most perfect, legible, neat printing on every line of everyone's name and email. It is so pristine. I just died laughing. I went, "Oh, right, I'm in Canada." And someone said, "Oh, no, you don't pass to the next grade. If you're penmanship, you have to pass penmanship. Penmanship is a thing. You can be held back if your penmanship is bad enough." No, they don't do that in America. In our country, get a crayon, go on the back of an envelope, and y'all can graduate high school. Okay? And the election's coming up. Expect to see us all here in 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks because we're all moving here. Ah.
So sad for you. I feel so sad that I can't help you with that. Just so sad.
We're not sure if we can help ourselves. We're waiting to see. But yes, so I may be back. I don't.
No wall.
You have no wall.
Come on in. We'll let you in.
You got the Tim Hortons.
Yeah. But you've got Tim Hortons in the States now, too.
Yeah, that's right. You got Tim Hortons now in the States. Mm-hmm. But most of us Starbucks. I like the Tim Hortons.
Thank you. You are amazing. That was just wonderful. Thank you. Oh, that was so good.